The majority of players lose fights in Zero because they ignore the simple fighting fundamentals that are crucial in combat. When watching your favorite streamers, players come to the illusion that flashy movement and good aim is what it takes to be a good fighter, but that could not be further from the truth. So in today's video, I will show you a game I won with 18 eliminations and talk about landing spots, best loadouts, and I will break down every fight and decision I made that led to me winning this game. So first, let's start with where I like to land. My favorite landing spot is Outlaw Oasis. There are over 30 chests there, including a guaranteed rare chest you can get from the underground vault. Now, unfortunately in this game, I land short and did not make it there, but I highly recommend this drop for anyone looking to start the game with a good amount of loot. Now, I'll be honest, I have not discovered other options outside of this because I just fell in love with it instantly. But feel free to comment some of your favorite drops, and at the end of the day, make sure you pick a drop that you know in and out because knowledge of your surroundings is crucial to having an off-spawn fight advantage. Now, after getting a decent loadout, which I will cover later on, I rotated over to Oasis to eliminate anyone who may have landed there to secure all the good loot. Now, I already have an elimination, but no, I will only show eliminations that are real players or ones where you can learn a lot from. Here, as I'm looting around, I see footsteps and start getting ready for the fight. I make sure to stop sprinting so I can have my shotgun out and pre-aim the place of the opposing player based on visual and audio cues. Surely this player walks into my crosshair, and after dealing some damage, notice how I do not jump straight at this player and instead strafe to the left to take minimal damage. Now, while this was not a real player, I still utilized the fundamentals of movement and right peaks to avoid damage, and had that been a real player, I would have taken minimal to no damage. One of the biggest mistakes players make is thinking that third parties are the reason they're losing fights, when in actuality it is the inability to finish fights without taking damage, which then leads to third parties picking up a free elimination. Had I been third partied in this scenario, I would have been instantly ready for another fight without having to reset. Now, while you see me eliminate some bots, let's talk about loadouts. This season, in my opinion, is a very unique situation due to the many different loadouts that I would consider to be very good. So I'm going to give you 3 different kind of combinations that I personally like to go with. Now, all of these combinations have the Sentinel Pump and either the Burst AR or the Holo AR. The Sentinel Pump is currently the only shotgun we have as I'm recording this video, and both the Holo and the Burst AR are strong options. If you want more damage, I would probably pick the Holo, but me personally, I prefer the Burst AR because I like the scope a lot more. Then the interchangeable part of the loadout is the Chug Jug. By far the best healing item in the game, healing you over time and being able to use it until it runs out. Then the last 2 items are the mobility and utility items, where I personally have 3 different combinations. The first combination is to carry shockwaves and the grenade launcher. This is such a fun way to push enemies, shockwave above their heads and hit them with the launcher for a surprise attack. For the second combination is the kneecapper along with the mammoth pistol. I don't think I need to say very much about the kneecapper besides the fact that it is very overpowered and needs to be nerfed. It is also an item that you can use to negate fall damage. Just make sure you're holding it out and you sprint jump before landing. Its main ability is being able to hit home runs using enemies and eliminating them to fall damage. And of course, the mammoth being a hitscan handgun that is arguably better than the sniper due to it not having a bullet drop off. And for the last combination, I would have the kneecapper and the sniper instead of the mammoth. Again, I'm still exploring the game for myself, so if there's any better loadout you want to suggest, feel free to do so in the comments section. Now let's continue on with the fights in the game. Here you see me check for the map to locate the medallion player who is going to have some stacked items for me. I get into my car and make my quest to find him. I always make sure to have a vehicle, as I have always said it is a bunker on wheels if used correctly. As I drive up, I spot footsteps towards the train, so I position the car for a peek and instantly go for a snipe. I'm able to connect and follow up with some AR shots, and now with the advantage I close the distance. I almost eliminate him, but I made the mistake of not braking when I got out of the vehicle, and he was able to easily use it to get away. Another player pulls up, but I decide to get into another vehicle and continue chasing the other player because he has the medallion. I pull up at the perfect time while he is fighting. I knew he was likely to be weak, and as I catch him, here he is looking to run away, so I have a lot of free shots. I am able to eliminate him, and as I go for his loot, I know there's another player around, so I keep that in mind. As soon as I hear this player, I stop looting and focus on having a good position, but he simply kept driving away, so I was able to finish looting. So eventually, I pull up to the gas station, and there are 2 players here. As one of the players gets behind the reboot van, and the other player simply drives off. Notice how I focus on the guy behind the van instead of the driver in the car. And why is that? Because I remember this player's tendency to drive around and play very scary from the earlier encounter we just witnessed, so I do not consider him a real threat. As I push this player, I make sure to use the gloves to slide and keep myself hard to hit, and surely as I get close enough, I'm able to hit a big shot and can see him heading for the car. So I simply wait wait for him to get into the car and go for the car pickaxe trick, and he is completely clueless and I am able to eliminate him after reading him like a book. The next player pulled up in his already weak car and tried to heal it up, so I instantly go for the car pickaxe play here again. He was smart enough to get out and started spamming his gloves. Most would panic here, but I understand that the best thing to do against spammers like this is to simply create distance. As I'm using the Kobe slide fadeaway, I'm also taking shots and connecting my last shotgun shot to finish him off. After all the kills that just went down, I finished the fight with 200 HP because I never panicked and was always ready to fight as optimally as possible. Now I pick up the overpowered bat, and remember I have the unstoppable medallion that makes me faster, and along with the bat mobility, I am unbeatable if I play correctly. I see a player in the distance, and after cracking him, I begin to chase him down. I see his footsteps, and here honestly I was trying to get a clip with the bat when I could have just pumped him and got it over with. He positions behind a tree, and as I move towards him, I know I have a health advantage, and with my movement I am sliding and constantly aiming towards his possible peaks, and I'm able to eliminate him. And guess who's back with the vehicle that has been driving around me for an eternity now, and would you guess it, he ends up driving away and disappearing again. But here, as I am eliminating AI, he makes his appearance yet again, and it was time to put this to an end. As he drives right at me, I go for the pickaxe trick, and he gets out of his car immediately. I hit a free shot, and he of course runs back for the car, but this time I sent him back to the lobby so he can go play Rocket League. Seriously though, what was that guy's plan? Here I decide to pick up shockwaves over my bat because honestly at the time I did not know how OP the bat was, and I also just really love shockwaves. Now here I'm eliminating an AI, and I notice the medallion player is near me, so I try to see if he comes to the shots that I just fired, and surely he makes his appearance. I play patiently and line up a mammoth shot, then instantly get in my car and chase him down. I know I have the health advantage, so I fly out the car and jump on him. While he slams it with the bat, I keep my cool and focus on centering my aim. I was able to make him weak, and as he ran away, all I had to do was hit my shots, where many players would have panicked because of the bat and choose not to fight. But as soon as he swung at me, I paid attention to my health bar instantly to see if it was worth finishing the fight. I then go pick up his loot and the medallion, which pops a shield when you are popping a heal, and you see me use this here effectively as I hear a third party coming from the gas station, and it actually kind of saves me here. I see him pop a bubble, and I decide to push him because the unstoppable medallion kind of bashes players, sort of like the nitro medallion we had back in the day. So I'm able to bash him out of the bubble, dealing some damage at the same time. He ends up behind cover, and here as I jump out, I make sure to slide to break his point of view on me under the cover, then instantly shift direction to make sure he cannot predict where I'm going to be next, and that makes it very hard for him to hit me, and so I cleaned up this fight easily. You might be thinking to yourself that I opened this video by saying flashy movement is not what wins fights, and that is partially true. What's important to know is that all the movement I did there was optimal and was done strategically. I don't want you to walk away from this video and think that spamming your movement with sliding and jumping around will instantly make you win fights. I instead will have a much better in-depth video on all the techniques of movement and how to properly break cameras later this month. Here as I'm healing from the fight, I hear a player near me looking to third party, and I also hear a bat. I instantly shock upwards to avoid being hit by that bat. As I spot him and land, I instantly focus on maintaining the distance. When fighting players that run around with a bat, you should always look to do this. He gets aggressive, and I'm constantly using right peaks to deal damage and eventually jump out to try and surprise him, and I'm able to crack him right before he's shocking away. I then shockwave into his direction and line up a very nice shotgun shot to finish off this fight. Now we're down to one more player. I spot the last player in the car and go for a play. I jump out straight at him, knowing that if things go south I can just get into his car and reset, but I was able to crack him, and here I play pretty cheeky to finish up the game with the pickaxe card trick.